Hello, this video is about the email manager that is part of NITRO Studio. The email manager can be accessed from the NITRO Studio apps by going to Email Manager. It can also be accessed from a list. If you have a list, up here in the list ribbon is Email Manager. Either way, if you click that, it will open up the Email Manager and then you can configure the emails. Now, what emails are these used for? So let's take a look where the Email Manager comes into play. When you have a list item, you can send out email either using the email on the items ribbon, using the email here, or opening up the item itself and using email in the item ribbon. So when an email is generated this way, it's a way to keep in touch and respond to whoever is on the ticket as a requester, or ask for the information, or made a complaint, or has an issue, or whatever. You can communicate back and forth with that person. So the email that goes out is generated by the email manager, and here we have the from, the to, the CC attachments, which mail template to use, subject, body, and you'll see how this is created through the email manager as to what gets shown here. So let's take a look at the email manager now. So the email manager is the app that we just opened from the NITRO Studio or from the list. And here's the settings. Now, the settings we're dealing with right now are for the tickets list, but could be for any list that you were looking to manage with this email manager. So you have the from, you have the to. Now, the to line in the CC can be selected using this button right here. And what this does is you can decide what is going to go into the to line, which could be a user or group, any group that you have in your Active Directory. It could be users in column on the form, on the tickets list, any of these columns. And it could be an email address that you put in directly. As you can see here, I put in multiple email addresses separated by the semicolon character. So you can go in and fill in the to line and the CC line. And if you didn't want the person in there, you can press the red X and correct it if you needed to. Now, the next thing we're going to look at is the email template. So there's a default one, but also you can create new ones if you want. So here we have the mail templates, and mail templates can be used to create a new mail template, or use an existing one, or modify an existing one. So let's create a new one, and here we're going to call it email to user. Just simple enough. This will be a generic mail template, so we'll just put in ticket number and put in the case ID right here. Case ID selected from the list, the placeholders on the right. Add it to the subject, and we should put in anything we want here, such as the title. Let's put in the title. So first we'll type the word title, and you could bold this if you wanted, or make it fancier, if you want. Put some formatting in here, and then we could go here to click the add to body, and it adds to the body. And we can even say date created, and we know the case ID from the subject, so we don't have to put that in, but here we can put in the created date. So you can have all kinds of things you want to. First, let's bold that, and then we'll put in the created date here. So make it bold, and then put in the created date, and add to body. And you could go on and on with this, with any of these: due date, description, all that. I'll just make it really simple, but I think you get the idea that you can add on any fields you want here. We're going to leave space for people to enter in their own information here also, the person creating the ticket. So let's go there. Now we save that one, so we now have two. Now another interesting thing I can show you is that we can also create canned responses. So the template can actually act as a canned response. So this would be response on password reset. So anytime you get a ticket like that, you can just simply respond with this. So on ticket reset. Yeah. So you can just respond with this here. You'd have some subject for it. Password reset instructions. And then you can type in whatever they are. To reset your password, go to screen, whatever it is, screen A, and press button B, etc. Then you can also put in like hyperlinks and images and things like that. You can put in a hyperlink. You can put in let's put one in. This isn't, of course, the right one. because this is just for demonstration purposes, but you put in whatever one works for you, or if you wanted. And put in crowcanyon.com. And we have here Crow Canyon. And you can even have a tooltip with it too if you want. You can open link in new window, so there's a lot of possibilities there. You can put in an image if you want to show them something, insert an image. You can do various things to make the template really constructed the way you want it to be responded. You have a number of these canned responses. So now let's go see how this works with the email templates here. So we're out of that. We're back to Email Manager, and on the tickets list here, you see that there are now several templates here instead of just the one default. So we can decide what's going to be the default one we use. Well, let's use default. If you wanted a standard one, you can say, okay, we're just going to put that as the default. Whichever one you want. Let's leave it at that for now. And this tells you what happens when the email is sent out. It's recorded in the email history and the email ticket list, linked by the ticket ID, so it will show up on the item if you have a place for the email histories to show up. And then what happens after the email is sent? You can configure a new action that when the email is sent, what do you do? Well, you can have something here like write the body of the email to the work log, or you could have let someone else know. There's various things you can do to have actions happen after you send the email. See, mail body here is you could use mail body and add that to the work log. So you would map the mail body to the work log and add it as an additional entry into the work log on that ticket. So let's go to the tickets and see what happens. We'll save all this, save it, and go to the tickets list. Okay, we're back to the tickets list. Let's cancel this and open up an email again. So now we're emailing out from the items, list item, and we see this is the from, this is the people we put in the request into the to line, and you can have CCs if you wanted. You could include the items attachments or select additional files to add. And then you see the default template now is email the user with this information, ticket number 22, email not working, created on that day, and then you can type in either here or below it, you can type in more information, and that would be sent out to those three names up here in the to line and say, we need more information about your issue, etc., etc. Send it, and it's going. And if we have it writing to the history log, it'll do that. It'll write to the email history of this ticket. They'll be recorded that the email was sent out, and also we have an action that can happen after, such as write this mail body here into the work log if we arrange that. So let's send it, and it's send it out, operation completed, it's okay. So it's sent out to who we had the to line to. Now if this was about a password reset, we could take another approach here and go to the items and go to email and just say, okay, we know that this is a common problem that's come in all the time, so let's just respond with this template right here, and it's going to tell the person who receives it all this information, send it out, and that person's going to get that email. So Email Manager gives you a very good way to set up mail templates and canned responses with placeholders taken from the ticket itself in order to facilitate sending email and communicating with the user. And they become part of the email history of the ticket, and that is an important way to keep track of the different incoming and outgoing messages. Here we can see we just sent these two outgoing messages, and they've been recorded in the email history of this item. Incoming, just as an aside, incoming emails are managed through the email sync app that we have, and they also would be added to the email history. We base it on the fact that the case ID is in the subject, and then it's recorded into the email history. Okay, I just wanted to show you some information about our email manager in the studio, NITRO Studio, and how useful it can be for communicating back and forth with end users or requesters, whoever, or anybody really that you want to communicate from the ticket. You could actually don't have to send it back to someone on the ticket. You could forward it over to a manager. You could have an email that goes out to a manager, email that goes out to another even third party outside the organization. So it's quite a useful tool. Hope this tutorial has been helpful. Thank you.